Welcome back to Mozart Recitatives. This week we're going to talk about the actual learning of the notes. This is where I actually do it in my process. I start off with the text because in recitative, the text is absolutely the most important part. We're advancing the story, we're telling a little bit more of the drama, maybe we're dialoguing with other people. So I like to start with the text first and then learn the notes. So I'm going to take you through the process. I have the chords that help me learn the notes. I plunk them out on the piano or on my little iPad keyboard, which you'll see. And then the next thing that I do is always double check what notes are being sung before I come in. So if I have cues coming from a chord or if I have cues coming from another singer and colleague, those are important to know because it's going to affect the way that you enter. Or if you're coming from another aria, which happens a lot in Così fan tutte, which opens next Friday, March 12th, and plays on March 14th as well. If you're interested, you can get tickets at the link in my bio. But in the meantime, let's delve into learning notes, and next time we're going to talk about context and character choices. So let's start off by learning the actual notes as they're written. So I'm going to use my little keyboard on my iPad. By the way, I use Fourscore. This is what you're seeing on your screen right now. So I'm going to plunk these out as well as I can. So those are my notes. After you've plunked out the notes on a keyboard or you have someone else play them for you or you listen to them on a recording, you can of course do an intermediary step of just singing them on a vowel before you add the words. So an NG, a V hum, a hum, or a vowel like ah. So do what works best for you, just picking out the notes and then add the text on top of it. But that's why I like doing the text first. The text comes pretty naturally and the rhythm comes pretty naturally. So it's just a question of figuring out where do you change pitches. So here I know it's come tutto congiuro. I go up on congiura, which is the word stress also. So another indication that Mozart was setting the words pretty well. Come tutto congiuro a serrare il mio cor, ma no, se moro e non si cera, errai quando alla soria mi scopersi, ed alla despina. So I think part of that is because we've changed a word, so there's a strange rhythm in there. But that's how I work on it, super, super slow with the words first. And you'll notice I did take Baron Reiter's suggested appoggiatura at e non si c'era. Generally, you want to fill in thirds when you're working through a recitative. So now I want to hear what the chords sound like. So I'm going to play these on my keyboard. It may not be the best sound quality, but here we go. So here's what I'm going to hear before I come in, or something similar. Okay, great. So I'm in that chord, no problem. I have my first note here. So I practice hearing that chord and singing the first note. Come tutto congiuro. And then the rest of it's all in that chord. A serrare il mio cor, ma no. Now we have the chord change. Si mora. My note's still on the top. That's great. E non si c'era. So I will clash just for a second doing that appoggiatura. And then all the rest of this is in this chord. Errai quando alla. New chord. I'm at the top. Suora io mi scopersi, era la spina. Chord change, and again, I'm on the top note. So the nice thing is that Mozart usually makes it pretty easy to find your note within the chords that are being given. Now, the other nice thing about this recit, at least the way that we've cut it for the show, is that it is solo. However, you might be getting notes from another colleague, so let me give you an example of that. So here's a short segment where I'm getting notes from both De Spina and Dorabella. In this specific example, just Despina. So you'll notice she sings Ma ecco la sorella che ceffo. Now, her A that she ends on isn't super helpful for me, although it is a grounding point for that fourth I need to sing. But she's sung my notes in La Sorella. La Sorella. So I listen for that. She sings Che ceffo. And I already know I'm starting on the same note that she did for La Sorella. Sciagurate. Excuse me for the translation. That's our modern production. So always play around with those intervals that you're being given. Oftentimes in Mozart, the person who sings before you is giving you your note, but not always. So see where you can find it in that line. Let me know if you learn the notes first or the text first in your recits, and I'll see you next week to talk about context and character choices.